What is good? What is good, photo culture family? I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. And like I say all the time, you're ready to execute this week. We are not going to waste any time here. Give me one second. I'm going to send this out so that everybody else can join. And then we'll hop right into the markets. We will hop right into it. All right. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about what we see happening on gold here today, right? So we're going to take a look actually at the daily time frame. We all know that the previous daily for Friday closed extremely bearish. Not only that, but we had some key larger time frame lows taken out here. If we take a look here, price came down. We took out this larger time frame low when price broke through this area here. If we zoom in, we can indicate this by this low here. So what does this tell us? It tells us that the sell pressure is still to the downside, right? The sell pressure is still in the markets, and that price is creating lower lows and lower highs. Not only that, but we seen last week we broke through this area here, which price is now retesting. We have a bearish 4-hour candle closing off of, and this 4-hour candle may attempt to close bearish at this level as well. We also have this sign of a rejection here, which means that price did heavily reject off of this area. But since we broke through this low, what is likely that we see potentially happen? A likely corrective structure, and then a continued bearish move to the downside, likely sweeping that low one more time. So what do we need to see on the lower time frame in order to verify this structure, to indicate that price is in fact going down? Well, price on this 1-hour time frame, we could see we were creating lower lows and lower highs as price came down. We created a low, we created a high, we created a lower low, and we just broke through this area. So if we dial down to our 15-minute time frame, you can kind of see what our structure is here. So we had a low get created, a high, a lower low, then price came through after creating this lower low, and it broke through this lower high. Then we had a correction and then a continuation up, right? So this now becomes the key lower time frame low. Well, what did we just see happen? Price has now pushed down, broke through this low, and as long as we see this 3307 high hold, we could potentially see this continued bearish flip to the downside. I would actually really want to see this area that we're at right here at this 3300 level hold as well for this steeper move to the downside, likely taking out this 3284 low and potentially sweeping the low of day down here at 3250. Now, if we do see in fact this high get taken out up here, this will indicate that price is still in a bullish market structure. Then we'll look for a correction and a continuation. This area is the 3308. So at this 3308 area, if that gets broken, then I'll look for a bullish scale and move during our session. But as of right now, you know, our larger time frame is aligning with a possible bearish market structure. Plus, we have no I can't say we don't have no bottom wick. We have a bottom wick there. It appeared that we didn't have no bottom wick. So keep an eye on this 3308 structure. If this high gets broken, we'll look for a price to target some larger time frame areas of interest. We'll likely look for this 3324 levels. And potentially some higher targets there. But as of right now, coming into the daily session, if we see a steeper move to the downside, following breaking this low, then we'll look for, you know, some of these lower time frame structures to hold. But we got to anticipate what or not anticipate, but we got to keep an eye on what the lower time frame is doing. That'll kind of show us our structure. So if we take a look here at NQ, In Q on the daily time frame, I told members that coming into this week, expect this 22,900 levels to get taken out. And if we do, break and close above this 22,900 levels, to expect this 2,300 level as well to be taken. We can see on the market open, we immediately got to push to that 22,900 level. Why I specifically chose 22,900 is because it is a solid whole number. I've been telling you guys, we are in all-time highs. There's nothing that is said this is slowed up yet. And in order to set our targets when we're at these all-time highs, we want to look for those solid whole numbers. So 22,900 and 2,300 are key areas in the markets where we were looking for a possible reversal or for price to push to just in general. What did we see happen? Price pushed up to this 22,900 level, and now we're starting to see a lower time frame correction begin to form. As of right now, this market structure is still in a bullish market trend. And if we see price hold this level, we can anticipate a steeper move up to break this current high. If we do see this low get broken here, watch how price reacts after breaking this low. Because just because we break through this low doesn't mean that price would necessarily be bearish. If we get a correction and rejection off of this level, then we can look for a possible scale in bearish move. But if we break through this level and then price rejects and we start to see a lower time frame shift, you can expect that steeper bullish move up coming into today's session. I mean, as of right now, the daily is just extremely bullish. I don't believe that we have a bottom wick on this current daily, so signs of a possible pullback. But in terms of a volume perspective, this is extremely bullish, and I'm not looking to get in against this unless we get a market shift with our volume, right? That'll be the only indication for me that we're going to be looking to take sales. As of right now, we are starting to see some volume here on this this 1 hour and this 30-minute time frame, where price can potentially start to make a steeper move to the downside. So keep an eye on this overall structure. If this key low right here, key 15-minute low, why is this the key low? Because it's the start of the push that broke through our previous high. If this low gets broken, then we'll watch how price reacts there. If we're looking for steeper moves to the downside, some resistance within this 22,820 levels is where we probably look to take profits. But I would just have to see, a ton of bearish volume for me to look to get involved, especially if we get let's say this 4-hour candle closes bearish. That'll be more of an inclination to potentially sell rather than, just kind of selling after all this immense bullish volume that we seen last week. So overall structure, bullish, anticipating a steeper bullish move. If we see the lower time frame flip, we'll look for it there. Now, YM caught a beautiful move on Friday for the YM. Before the market session closed, we just had a ton of volume coming into the markets. We got ourselves a small continuation, and we really just got a piece of the pie. We executed perfectly, got out of our take profit perfectly. Price just continued to rip for almost like 4 times what we made on that trade, but that wasn't a part of the system. What do we see happen now, right? Extremely bullish previous daily candle, no signs of rejection yet, nothing that's indicating that price is in fact going to the downside. We are starting to see this previous 4-hour candle closed as a bearish candle, so that could be a lower time frame or an indication of a possible steeper move to the downside. That doesn't mean that price is pushing down, but it's an indication that price could make a steeper move to the downside. So potentially breaking through this low here. If we see this 43,307 low get broken, I mean, a correction and a steeper continuation down would be beautiful. Following that 4-hour candle close, this current daily opened up with no bottom wick. A lot of signs indicating that price could flip and push bearish. But if we do see this area get broken, we want to see a correction and then that confirmation candle before we look to in fact take sales. Because if we break through this low and then we get a rejection in price, lower time frame shift, then this can continue pushing bullish with the current volume that we have in our current daily, and we'll look to target these highs up here at these 43.44 or 44.44. Yo, there's a lot of fours. 44.40, 44.440. There we go. We'll target those highs there. Still overall bullish biased, and just anticipating price to gravitate towards these all-time highs at this 45 220 levels here overall, right? Whole bunch of bullish volume from the previous weekly. Lower time frame, still in a bullish market structure. If we come down to our 15-minute time frame, let's take a look at our 15. Our 15 has flipped from being, so we were creating a high, we created a low, created a new high, new low, higher high. We broke through that area there, corrected up, a steeper move to the downside. We formed a correction, steeper move to the downside. What did we see happen? An impulsive bullish move, taking out these lower time frame highs. If we dial down to the 5-minute time frame, you can see. So this shifted the lower time frame market structure from now being bearish to being bullish. As we're creating higher highs and higher lows, this now becomes the key low. So as long as this low that I mentioned here at the 44,305 level isn't broken, then we could see a steeper move, a potential steeper move to the upside. We want to wait for the volume. We don't have any news today, so we got to wait for some type of volume to show in the markets. Once the volume shows, then we'll look to execute in whatever direction the volume is showing us. We always want to be on the side of our volume, and that can come in the form of a correction, or it can be a continuation, right? We could see bearish volume during our session, and that would be considered a correction because we're overall larger time frame bullish bias, but the volume was bearish, so we're going to execute on that. So we're going to make sure that we keep an eye on what the volume is showing us for the day. The ES here, no bottom wick on the daily. Let's make sure. Yep, no bottom wick on the current daily. That means that when price opened up, we immediately pushed to the upside. If we dial down to the 4-hour time frame, previous 4-hour closed bearish, current 4-hour time frame is starting to feel the wick of that previous bearish move there. This is not our key low. If we dial down to the lower time frame, why isn't this the key low? This isn't the key low because it didn't break for this high up here. So technically our key low is down here within this resistance. So what does that mean in terms of a trade perspective? That means that this structure is still bullish until we get a break of this low. Like, even though we could potentially break through this low, and if the price offers a beautiful setup for a correction and continuation, we could look for one more steeper move to the downside, but anticipating a possible larger time frame flip from this level here, because this is where our key low is actually at, based on our 30-minute and our 1-hour time frame here. You can kind of see that price created this high, created a low, but it didn't break through the previous high, and now we're starting to see that bearish move to the downside. Price starts to break through these lows, we get a correction. We could essentially, like I said, see a steeper move to the downside, but keep an eye on this 6240 level, right? So once this 6240 level gets tagged, if and when this 6240 level gets tagged, keep an eye on how we react, because from this level, we'll either see price break through this low, a correction, a steeper move down, or we would see price tap into this low and we start to get a flip. Now, keep in mind also that the ES, the YM, and the NQ, they tend to do liquidity grabs prior to our session or on the open. So that means a grab of a low, and then price would then reject off that area and then form a lower time frame shift for a steeper move up. That's why I said keep an eye out for, NQ to potentially break this low, YM to break this low, and still potentially flip bullish in our session. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I'm saying that it's something to look out for coming into our market session. So I hope you guys were able to get some value out of today's session. Hope you guys are ready to execute this week. We're going to make sure that we execute by our rules. We execute every single trade the same exact way. We're going to do the 9-step process that we always do. Wait for 9:30, wait for our larger time frame direction, and then wait for that lower time frame confirmation. We execute, set our take profit at our structural high or low, and then we're just gonna execute, right? So be sure to manage risk today. No need to over risk, and get after it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for tomorrow's pre-market prep. And for those of you in the VIP, I'll see you guys soon.